Hi folks, how are you all doing? I'm sure the new year has been spectacular for you in terms of a start for a great life and great career, and all the good things are coming your way. A very, very interesting topic, and as always we speak about contemporary topics in life and careers. If that is something which is of interest to you, probably I should urge you to consider liking and subscribe to the channel. Also do hit on the bell icon so that you get notifications when videos go online. I've been not too frequently putting videos, but now on I think probably it will be more regular. Thank you. Very, very interesting trends happening in the corporate side. Three very, very interesting things, and everything is all about silence. And I'm not sure how much each of us relish silence. So the big trends which are happening, which happened in 2024 and probably continue through 2025, not just in the western horizon of the world, but including India, is three silent things: silent quitting, silent hiring, and silent firing. And all the three are very, very important in terms of a career outlook or a personal branding outlook for each of us. It is very, very important to understand what all three of us. Silent quitting is also known as quiet quitting, and early days we've already put up a very, very detailed podcast in this channel about what quiet quitting or quiet quitting is. Quiet quitting is also popularly now known as silent quitting, at least in the Indian context. Probably Indian corporates are more comfortable using the word silent quitting. What exactly is silent quitting? Of course, I've dwelt in detail about this earlier also. Silent quitting is nothing but you only sticking to what is your care is on the particular job, and beyond that not doing anything extra, if you can say so. In a sense, it is a kind of feigning indifference or acting indifferent to your call of duty. You only stick to whatever is asked for you, and beyond that you really aren't very, very interested and keen in getting yourselves engaged in the organization, engaged in the organization goals, engaged in the anything beyond your care is you're not really bothered much about it. And what problem this causes is that there's a lot of disengagement amongst employees. For example, if the team size is about 6-7 people and about 2 or 3 people in that start practicing this quiet quitting, it is going to be extremely painful for the organization to keep the rest of the team motivated. And this applies across the spectrum of the organization at all levels in the organization. It is not necessary that people quiet quit or silent quit only at the entry level. It can happen in the middle level and even the senior most levels. If people aren't really wedded to the goals of the organizations, people really don't see that they have opportunities for career growth, don't see their career trajectory really make much of progress, don't see a monetary growth in the organization. I think then this indifference starts setting in, and what they really do is they just quiet quit. They only will do whatever is required of them. For example, if your target is 100% and if the bare minimum which is required to survive in the organization is 65-70%, they just will hit that 65-70%, and after that they will say it is none of my business, it is your call, and they will not engage themselves in the events in the organizations. They will not engage themselves in mentoring others. They completely dissociate themselves from the rest of the organization, and their engagement is exactly to the point where their goals within the organizations are met. This is a huge challenge, and earlier on, I think when I've spoken about this earlier in this channel, I always thought in Indian context probably people are reticent, we're not very comfortable being so indifferent in the Indian context, but I understand, or I probably have seen a couple of surveys where I see that quiet quitting has actually becoming a pain in terms of how it impacts the overall goals of the organizations, particularly in the tech sector and the non-tech sector as well. So quiet quitting is a huge challenge for the line managers. Quiet quitting is a challenge for the functional heads, and quiet quitting is a humongous challenge for the HR heads of the organization, because they really need to have to tweak their policies accordingly. For example, today there is the work from home culture is almost coming to an end across the globe, and RTO is a new mandate, and there is a lot of resistance by the employees, by a chunk of the employees for RTO, because people who have always stayed home and felt felt that their roles and responsibilities are fairly achieved well, and their job is done even when they have been in a hybrid mode, shuttling between office and home, now feel that if you mandate an RTO, then I probably am not comfortable. I am more comfortable in the hybrid mode. So they also start practicing this silent quitting or quiet quitting. So in that sense, it is certainly a huge challenge. We need to see how the HR heads of the organizations, so-called employee engagement specialists, compensation and benefit specialists, really tweak the policies and culture of the organization to make sure that the incidence of silent quitting or quiet quitting is drastically less. The only question I keep asking my peers or my friends or by some of my subscribers is, will you really practice quiet quitting in an Indian context? So that is the first silent culture which is catching up, and probably that will remain prevalent throughout 2025. The second most important thing, and I probably think that as prospective employees, which really has to concern us in a big way, is silent hiring. What exactly is silent hiring? Silent hiring is, in a sense, an antithesis of whatever you see in terms of publicly available information in terms of job postings. The normal tendency in most of us is probably to visit the corporate website of the organization, if it is a target employer, if it is our dream employer, or also go through platforms like job portals. Job openings are now posted widely on phone applications. So we really tend to go through that. We also probably go through LinkedIn jobs and similar postings where similar forums where there are a lot of job postings. We apply for these jobs, and then we just stay put quiet, saying that we will probably quickly or probably slowly hear from the hiring manager or the recruitment manager of this particular organization who have posted this job. It now appears that predominantly at least 40 to 50% of these jobs are ghost jobs. Again, this is not necessarily a Western practice. This has become a practice in even India. If you probably have applied for a job or a dream role in the past 2-3 months, and you think that I have not heard from anyone despite having applied for 6-7 jobs, then what you are undergoing is that you are being ghosted for a job, because they are posting jobs randomly. They are posting jobs with the real intention of not hiring people for that job or filling that role, or probably some other purpose. They are probably under pressure. If they are a listed company, they are under pressure by the stakeholders to show some activity in terms of the company growth and hiring. If it is a HR guy or a recruitment guy, then he has a compulsion to create a robust database for a future job requirement so that he can hire quickly when that particular need arises. So there are a number of factors why these ghost jobs are doing their rounds in platforms like LinkedIn and other platforms. Unfortunately, a whole lot of us think that most jobs posted on LinkedIn are very, very credible, but now it appears that even LinkedIn jobs or postings on LinkedIn are, a whole lot of them are in fact ghost jobs. And if you are really applying for that and just waiting comfortably, thinking that you have 3-4 job applications and you have applied for 3-4 jobs and probably 1 or 2 will fructify in the pipeline, then you are setting up yourselves for disappointment, because on these 4 jobs, if 2 are ghost jobs, then your pipeline drastically comes down. So you need to be very, very aware of this silent hiring. So hiring now is purely getting, at least a chunk of the hiring in all organizations across all levels, maybe with the exception of campus hiring where there are large volume hirings happening. Otherwise, any lateral position or middle and senior management position is getting filled only through employee references predominantly. I think 6 out of 10 jobs or 7 out of 10 jobs, they are filling these jobs only through employee references. So if you have a target employer, if you have an employer who is your dream employer, who is the best employer for your niche skills, etc., I think the only way you can get in there is to probably catch hold of someone who can be a friend, who was your friend earlier, who was your ex-boss and things like that. Whatever will be the personal equation, you need to reach out to them and probably get you referred to a particular role in that organization. This trend is already prevalent in 2024, and believe me, this trend is going to catch up in a very, very big way in 2025, unless otherwise you are aware that silent hiring is a huge trend now, you probably will continue to resort to the earlier practice of applying for jobs on job portals or one of these LinkedIn kind of platforms, and quietly wait, or rather happily wait, thinking that you are creating a opportunity pipeline which will fructify in the near future. If you apply for a majority of ghost jobs, where silent hiring is becoming a practice, in companies where silent hiring is becoming a practice, as I told you already, you're setting yourself up for failure. Don't blindly depend on these job portals or LinkedIn jobs and things like that. Make sure you probably take extra efforts to reach out to people in organizations where you want to get employed, your kinds of roles are there, and somehow by hook or crook, see that you get referred to the organization. If you don't know anybody within the organization, nothing wrong in reaching out to the topmost person in the organization. It can be the CEO of the organization, you can reach them out by mail, you can reach the HR head of the organization, you can reach the talent acquisition head of the organization. There are numerous methods in which you can make sure that your application reaches the right person in the organization. All you do is to just back up your job search with some kind of research. So as I said, silent hiring is becoming a big trend now, and this trend is something which most of us will be fully affected if we are not aware that silent hiring is happening. So we saw two silent trends which are happening. Again, in a sense, these are silent problems as well. First thing is silent quitting, which actually doesn't affect an employee in a very big way. If you are an employee and you are practicing silent quitting, and the worst which can happen is you'd probably be asked to take leave of the services, which you, any case, are mentally prepared. You probably have one or two jobs in the pipeline, and which is why you are resorting to silent quitting. So in that sense, the silent quitting or doesn't really affect employees, whereas silent hiring is something which directly hits it in a very, very big way. It is very important for all of us to be aware that silent hiring is a huge trend. And now to the last and very, very important trend, again, which affects most of us who are employees in organization, is silent firing. Now, what is silent firing? Predominantly when there are extraneous changes in the macro environment, a lot of changes happens, we very clearly foresee that job losses are going to happen in our organization. For example, if there are huge client losses for your organization, if you are in the tech programming space, or if you probably are in the industry where competition is snatching away a lot of your business, and you very, very clearly know that your job is going to be at stake because of these macro changes, you know very well that things are happening, things are going to happen. And also, if at all a pink slip comes, it comes as a wave. Like, for example, if they're going to downsize an entire wing of an organization, I think we know very well that one set of people are already being asked to let go, the other set of people probably will ask to let go soon. So very, very clearly we are able to see in the horizon, unless otherwise we completely blind to what is happening around. We don't really have our ears and eyes on what's happening in the organization and in the competition. We'll be blind to it. Otherwise, most of us know that a job loss is probably going to come. Whereas in the case of silent firing, the hiring manager resorts to gimmicks or techniques where he really frustrates your efforts, frustrates your presence in the organization by giving you too much of work, not treating you properly, overloading you to work, having unreasonable expectation, suddenly raising the bar. The bar is already there, and that bar of excellence is being met by you, but the hiring manager or the functional head decides that, well, I need to let go of him somehow because I have a problem. I have been asked to let go of 7-8 people without much of murmur or noise. They put on a lot of pressure on you, unreasonable pressure on you, frustrate your efforts, bordering on ill treatment and things like that. That is very, very clearly silent firing. Silent firing, I would say, is not rampant now, but yeah, if your organization has some hidden agenda, or if your organization has set a hidden agenda to your line manager or functional manager, you could be a target of silent firing, and you need to be cognizant of that. The best thing about silent firing probably is that you know very well that you're being frustrated, you're being intimidated by the organization, and they probably are giving you abundant signals that you need to probably move out as quickly as possible. So as I said earlier, unless otherwise we are kind of indifferent, timid, and we really aren't kind of emotionally intelligent enough to see what's happening around, we very well can see that the objective of the boss or the leader at that point of time is to probably make us leave. So this is also becoming a fairly popular trend or a popular sentiment amongst hiring managers and HR managers, where they set an agenda of probably letting go of one set of people and probably firing them silently. If the objective is to probably send about 10 people, they probably will target about 20-30 people, and where they try and frustrate them to leave the organization, and in that about 10 people will leave. So this is all a part of HR tactics and strategies now, depending on what is the situation within the organization. So these are the three popular trends which will be very, very prevalent in 2025 and even beyond: silent quitting, silent hiring, and silent firing. I just wanted to share this information with you. As I said already, silent quitting or quiet quitting has been dealt with earlier by me in this channel. You might want to probably go through the videos in my channel and have a look at it. I'm sure this information has been extremely useful to you in terms of what are the contemporary practices in the corporate space. Share it and pass it on probably to people who might be interested. Thanks and pleasure talking to you. I'll see you soon on another interesting podcast. Thank you. Have a wonderful life and career ahead, and I wish you all the very best. Thanks a lot.